Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the live of Right Directions today. My name is Kaur, and I'm the Senior Master Trainer in Ielts at Right Directions. Today, I have come live on Ielts speaking for you all. And as all of you know that, speaking module in Ielts is one of the most interesting modules when you have to just practice it, just feel relaxed and confident and prepare for your speaking. So let's see what we have today to cover. Okay. Now, today I'm going to have something really different for you. As till now we have discussed a lot of things on this particular module. We have even discussed a lot of tips, a lot of different strategies to score a really high band in your IELTS speaking. So today I have a lot of things to discuss so that it really is helpful for you to achieve something big in your IELTS speaking. Okay. So the first thing I'm going to cover is common mistakes in IELTS speaking that most of the students make. Okay. I'm even going to talk about the important tips today, students. So just pay attention to whatever I'm going to deliver today. Then, how to stop yourself doing mistakes. This is highly important. Why? Because many a times we do a lot of mistakes, by mistake. Okay, and these are counted as the silly mistakes, and yet these really affect your band score badly. Okay, so I would tell you how you can stop yourself of doing a lot of mistakes when it comes to your speaking part in your IELTS exam. Okay, now I have the most interesting thing to discuss with you today. Yes, master stroke to an excellent cue card with a clear explanation. So I'm going to give you a master stroke to be really a master at your cue card. And at the end, obviously, I would like to tell you about the assessment criteria so that you may just practice really easily and carefully to achieve a good band score in your speaking module in IELTS. So I request you all to just stay tuned with me till the end of this live today. Okay, let's begin. Now, what are the common mistakes that many of the students, almost all the students do? Even on the simple questions that are asked by the examiner, the students panic and they just answer these questions inappropriately. I have taken the first common mistake over here, that is when the examiner asks the name of the student. So what the student does is, you give a one-word answer over there. That is really wrong. Students, always remember, your examiner checks your language skills. It's a language test. So when you'll just give a one-word answer, how will the examiner check whether you are good at using different sentence structures or what type of answer you can give on, you can say, a direct question. Okay. So instead of giving a simple answer as Kaur, what you can do is frame a good sentence. Let's say, the examiner asks me the question, could you tell me your full name, please? I would answer the question in the way, my full name is Kaur. And that's it, students. You don't have to say anything over here now. But, the problem comes when we are not specific. So not being specific, this is the second common mistake that many of you do. That is, you add the irrelevant point to your answer just to stretch your answer, which is not even required at times. So giving you an example of a question, what are your qualifications? This could be answered in a number of ways. You can say my qualifications are anything, like whatever your qualifications are, BA, BEd, or MSc, MCA. Another way to answer the question is, I have done my schooling from St. Teresa's Convent School, Karnal. Later, I did my BSc Computer Sciences. Then I just did my MSc Computer Softwares. Then finally, I completed my MCA. So basically, I am, the holder of 2 master degrees. And your answer just ends over here. But the students don't stop answering the question here. They still keep stretching the answer by just saying that I did this particular course and that year from this institute, and this particular course and this year from that institute. Okay? So that is not required, students. You need to be really accurate to the question being asked to you. Clear? Let's see what are the mistakes now besides these. Okay. Now, keeping the answers either too short or unnecessarily stretching these too long. I have noticed this many a times. Whenever a simple question is asked to a student, the student really either ends the question's answer in just one sentence or keeps stretching the answer, as if it's a cue card. So that is the big mistake you guys do. Okay? So what you have to do is be careful when you listen to the question. Okay? And try to answer as much as is required. Okay? Now, another mistake is not answering all the questions. Here I mean, sometimes, you are asked just this simple type of questions, and those are just the one sentence questions that the examiner asks. But many times I have just heard, and my students keep telling me, ma'am, we got the lengthy questions. What do you mean by lengthy questions? This means one particular question comes with a combination of questions. Yes, perhaps this happens mostly in your part 3. Okay, that is a discussion round, but you need to be really attentive over here. To illustrate, let's say the question asked to, a student is, pollution is increasing day by day in different parts of the world. So what do you think are the reasons behind, and what can be the consequences of the same? Now, what the students do is, they listen to the first sentence of the question, they try to answer the second question, but they forget the third question and they skip that. Here, you need to be really attentive and active, and there's nothing wrong if you ask the examiner to repeat the question. So instead of leaving the questions unanswered, I request you to please ask your examiner to repeat the question, as this would not have, I repeat, this would not have a negative impact on your speaking or on your band score. I hope you're getting the things, students. Okay then, let's move further. Now, the next mistake that is most commonly seen, in the speaking part is repeating the ideas. Now, what this mean? The ones who have already appeared for their speaking, they might be aware what the examiners do sometimes. What they do is they ask one question to the student and they get, different set of ideas obviously from a student on the first go. And, if they are not convinced with your answer, what they do is they twist, I repeat, they twist the sentence and ask the question again. Let me be really simple in my explanation over here. Let's say that the question over here is, what's your favorite color? Okay. Let's say you have answered, my favorite color is black. Now the question arises, why? You may give n number of reasons to support your answer over here. Okay. But be really precise in delivering your statement. You could have said, or rather, instead of just saying something wrong, you could just pick up a simple statement saying, ma'am or sir, black suits my personality. And whenever I just wear something in black, I really feel confident. I really feel that it really boosts me with energy. Okay? Or you can even say this, that, ma'am, whenever I wear black colored clothes or anything in black, I get a lot of compliments. And I really feel good. Okay? Now, this question could be twisted and could be asked in this way to a student. Which color do you use most oftenly? The meaning is really same, as the color you use most oftenly obviously would be your favorite. But now you don't have to give the same answer over here, students. This is the big mistake what you do. Again, you start repeating your answer that you have already delivered in your previous question. So instead of using the same ideas again, I suggest you to add something new to your answer. I'm just giving you a good answer to this. I would say, besides black, I use red most often. So whenever I go to any occasion such as the wedding or the parties, I just wear something in red. And the reason is that red symbolizes love, and I just feel active whenever I wear something in red. I even look beautiful in that color. Okay? So please avoid doing repetition, students. Try to add something new to your answer when it is a twisted question to you. Okay? The next common mistake is when the examiner asks about plurals, you give one idea and expand that. This goes really wrong, students. Whenever the examiner asks you to mention something in plural, okay, try to tell about 2 to 3 ideas on that, and then you can expand with one idea in your hand. An example over here can be taken as, can you name some of the famous personalities in your country? Your answer should be, the correct answer should be, yes, of course, there are a lot number of celebrities in my country and they all are famous. I remember few names. Mr. Amitabh Bachchan, he's a great actor and really does good in his field. We even have a lot of cricketers as Sachin Tendulkar, who's really doing good. Again, Virat Kohli, who is really famous to be aggressive at the field. Okay? And then you can just mention one particular name and you can talk about that if you just want to expand your answer. But always remember to mention minimum of 2 names over here, because the question is about naming the people, not a person. Okay? I mean is, you need to be really relevant to the question, students. And for that, you need to just understand the demand of the question. If you have understood what the question demands, it becomes really easy for you to give a good answer to it. Okay? I hope these mistakes would not be committed by you now, as I have given a lot of explanation. Okay, let's see what we have now. Top most important tips to share with you. The very first tip I have, keep talking. Now, whenever you get something new to talk about, or like something, strange, when you don't have a lot, you can say, explanation to give, or when you don't have any idea about anything that you get from your examiner, I would say instead of being quiet and taking long pauses to think, what you can do is give a, easy and good start. Okay? Let's say if I get a question on, or I get a topic as, talk about an important person in your life. So, now I'm not a person who just discusses everything to anyone, I meet. Okay? I only talk to the important people in my life. So, what I would do is, instead of, waiting and, getting the ideas into my brain, I would just start this way. I wouldn't usually reveal so much to a stranger I have only just met. But, well, you are such a good listener, and I feel like I could go on for hours, or at least another 15 minutes. Okay, so there are a lot of people who are really important in my life, but here I'm going to talk about the one, who's really close to me. She's my mother. And she's a great lady. Okay? So you could just continue, and keep into that smoothness in your conversation if you just give a good start. This is really important, students, because I just believe in your first impression is your last impression. Okay? So getting nervous is not a big deal. Everyone gets nervous. But staying calm, being confident, and giving it a hit is really important. And that's a big you can think. Okay then, let's move to tip number 2. Use an idiom or two. Please, I mean muhavra. Okay? This really boosts your band score, students. Again, heading to it. Use an idiom only if you are aware to use it appropriately, please. I have some examples over here. Okay? Just pay attention now. The first idiom that could be used is, I'm a bundle of nerves. This means I'm very nervous. Now, this phrase or idiom could be used in many ways when you have to talk about an achievement. Let's say that, you have got a promotion, okay, at your workplace, and you have to just deliver a speech. You need to just thank, your boss, your colleagues. So the moment you just, go to the stage, what you do is you feel nervous, right? Many times we don't even have those words. We just can't even utter a single word, At that time, you could just use this phrase. So you can say, well, I'm a bundle of nerves at the moment. Okay. But yes, of course, I just feel confident to talk about the people who have helped me at times. Okay, let's move to the second idiom I have today over here. That is, again, there's a mistake over here, students. I have skipped as one particular word over here. Okay, it's I'm as cool as a cucumber. I'm as cool as a cucumber. This means I'm not at all nervous. This phrase, I'm cool as a cucumber, could be used again in different type of topics. A good example can be when you're talking about any challenge or any risks, risk to take in your life. So what you do is, I'm as cool as a cucumber when it comes to taking challenges or bearing the difficulties in life. So I would just really go easy with all those kind of adventurous activities. Okay. Now, what mistakes the students do? They just mess up with everything they want to explain because of nervousness. What they do is, they just use the idiom incorrectly. I have a good example over here again. That is, I'm a bundle of cucumbers. You cannot be a bundle of cucumbers, students. Okay, it has no meaning. It's, an epic fail for you. Okay, so if you are not sure to use the idioms correctly, please don't go for it. Otherwise, if you use idioms, it could just take you to, you can say, stars in your speaking part. Okay, now moving next. Obviously, when it comes to your speaking part, we all do mistakes. Okay, so today I'm going to help you on how to make fewer mistakes and improve your Ielts speaking band score. So how you have to make fewer mistakes and improve your speaking band score? I have taken, 3 different points to explain over here. And I hope that my 3 points would really clear all your doubts. Okay, let's start with the first one. So, the first one is discover. Now, you don't have to go to different places to discover something over here. Okay? What I mean is, now, discover mean you need to make a note of your mistakes. Okay? So, you can't correct your mistakes. You can correct your mistakes if you don't know what they are. Obviously, if you are not aware of what mistakes you're doing, you cannot work on them. So, I have 2 different tips to share. The very first is, you can ask someone's help. Okay? You can just take the help of your trainer, of your teacher. Or then again, if you even have a cousin who really has good language skills, you can even ask him or her to tell you what kinds of mistakes you make. Okay? Or what you can do is, this is the most common tip I give to all of my students, and this is the most easiest, I guess. The tip is, record yourself. We all have the smartphones these days. Okay? We even have the recorders. Fine. So what you can do is, you can just record yourself speaking and then listen back to it. This really helps you to notice some mistakes that you know how to correct. And this really works wonders, students, because many a times, you just drift from one particular tense to another. Okay, fine. So if you record yourself, and when you sit back and listen to that recording, you could just make out some mistakes of simple, past tense words, moving to the present tense, or drifting, you to the present tense, or taking you back to the past tense, or taking you to the future tense. And you can really improve your mistakes this way. Okay? So, discover mean get to know your mistakes so that you may improve those mistakes. Okay? Let's move to the second thing. The second thing is notice and correct. This is really important, students, because most of the people don't even notice what they are doing. While just, talking to someone in English, people just do a lot of mistakes, but they don't even notice these mistakes. That would really be that would really be just helpless, because it would not help them to improve their language. So what you have to do is, you have to correct yourself, students. You need to notice your mistakes. You need to correct your mistakes. So if you don't correct a mistake, when you make it, you will probably make it again. And this, goes not only for your speaking part, but also for your listening, your reading, and your writing. Why? Because if you will keep doing the mistakes, if you will not improve, if you will not correct your mistakes, you will definitely do those mistakes in your future as well. Okay? Simple example can be, if you have said I'm student, which is grammatically wrong, you could say I'm a student. Okay? So, tip is, if you notice you make a mistake, you don't need to apologize. What you can do is just correct yourself and carry on with the conversation. Okay? But correcting yourself is really important, students. Clear? And then again, second tip is, if someone else corrects your mistake, repeat the correction. I repeat, you don't have to repeat your mistake. You have to repeat the correction and then continue speaking. Okay? Coming to the third thing now, which is also one of the most important, you can say, tips over here. That is, recognize the progress. Recognizing your progress really helps you to know where you stand. Okay? Now, after discovering the kind of mistakes you make and then noticing and correcting them, when you are speaking, you will start to make fewer mistakes and improve your speaking band score. I think that's really true. Once you notice your mistake, once you discover your mistakes, once you correct your mistakes, so your number of mistakes would really drop. Okay? And in turn, it would really improve your speaking band score. Now, after all that hard work, students, do not forget to congratulate yourself. Feel proud on your improvements and congratulate yourself. And then again, start from the step number 1. Okay, that is that is discover. Okay? I hope that you're understanding whatever I am explaining and the things are really easy now. So let's see what we have now to discuss. Okay. The master stroke over here. So my tip to you for your cue card, that is the part 2 of your speaking, is 2PF formula, students. Now, you all might be confused. What is 2PF? Right? 2PF mean past, present, and future. But what it means? What I mean is, whenever you have a topic to explain in your part 2, you need to talk in all the 3 tenses. Be in the past tense, talk about the present tense, and then go to the future tense. Difficult? Not at all, students. I'm here to help you out again in the same. Okay. Now, whatever topic you get in your part 2, always remember to have 3 different stories. Yes, having 3 different stories really help you to be good at your cue card explanation. Let me be really clear now. have one story in the past tense, the second story in the present tense, and the third one in the future tense. Okay? And you can even talk in this way, that in the past and then continue with it at the moment or presently or recently. Okay? In the upcoming future, it's really up to you. I have taken one example, a good example today. I have taken one topic, okay, the cue card topic, and I would explain how to frame these three different types of stories in the past, present, and future, and how to score really high in your IELTS speaking part. Let's begin the explanation then. I have a good cue card today, a place where you go and you learn something. Okay? So your topic is describe a place you can go to learn. I repeat, describe a place you can go to learn. You should say what the place is. Now these are the sub questions you have to cover. Okay? What the place is, how you heard about this place, what kind of people go there, what you can learn there, and explain why people like to go there. Okay, have a look on the topic. Now I'm going to have some notes that you can make. Another important thing over here in your part 2 of your speaking is the 1 minute of preparation time, students. I have noticed that most of you, just don't use that 1 minute of preparation time. Instead, you just directly start explaining your topic. And then you just start with the explanation and you get stuck. Then you feel helpless because you don't have the ideas to explain. So what I suggest you is utilize that 1 minute of time to prepare for 2 minutes of time to speak. Now what you have to do in that 1 minute of time is you need to make notes. Okay? All the trainers tell this thing to the students, that you have to make notes in that 1 minute of time. But the thing is, how you should make the notes. Because you cannot just start writing the complete paragraph, within that 1 minute. It's close to impossible to write on a complete paragraph. Okay? So what I have done is, I have written down some notes. Okay? And here are the notes in all the 3 tenses. What I have done is, I have taken one story in the past tense with some explanation that would just, utilize my 40 seconds to 50 seconds. Okay? Or rather, I would just say 30 seconds in the start. Then I would just come to the second story over here in the present tense. That would just take another, you can say, 50 seconds. Then, in the end of my, you can say, cue card explanation, I would go to the future story. Okay, I would just explain it for 10 to 20 seconds. It would just cover all of my, you can say, time limit. Okay, let me explain it to you now. It's not that difficult, students. Obviously, you need some practice to do that. It's something new for you all. Okay, but then again, it would really, give you fruitful results if you just practice your cue card this way, and if you just talk about a topic in your final speaking test this way. So I'm going back to the slide for the topic, that is, describe a place you can go to learn. You have to talk about one particular place where you go or you can go to learn. Now, I would start my topic saying that, okay, a place where I could go to learn. Okay. Few years back, when there were no more places where one can just go and learn something, I and my friends used to go to our school only, as schools were the only buildings and the places where people could learn a lot of things. Okay. Now I'm just coming to the present story. You can just even explain it, for two more sentences. Okay. But then again, I'm moving to the present tense now. Nowadays, as we have a lot of options and we have, number of academies and institutes and the coaching centers. So I would like to talk about one particular organization, that is the Right Directions, okay, where I usually go, not on regular basis, but whenever I'm free from my work. And, I just go there to enhance my communication skills. To be honest, the staff is really cooperative. The building is really amazing. It's, fully furnished. And then continue this way and talk that, what kind of people go there. Okay. You can just tell about the things asked in the topic. Fine. In the end, I would just, move to the future tense, saying that, well, after 15 years from now, I guess that internet would be the, you can say, amazing tool, that would replace all the places where one can go to learn. And, most of the population would just learn almost everything, from scratch to, you can say, the, professional thing on the internet, as learning, learning to play a musical instrument would be there on the internet. Then again, learning to cook something, or, learning a language, everything would be there online. Fine. So this way you could just frame a story that combines, three different stories and just give you a logical sense. Okay. Now, let's come to the assessment criteria, students. Okay. As you all know, there are 4 main parts to the Ielts speaking marking criteria. I repeat, there are 4 main parts to the Ielts speaking marking criteria. That is pronunciation, the very first one. Then we have a lexical resource. Then we have grammatical range and accuracy, and last, fluency and coherence. What I mean is, the examiner never, judges you on the exact relevancy to the questions or the topic. You could even go close to the relevancy, okay? But you need to focus on all these 4 parts of marking criteria, students, because if you are not focusing on these, if you're not into, you can say, the correct usage of words, okay, or the correct pronunciation of words, then again, you may just, fall back in achieving a higher band score in your speaking part. So, pronouncing the words correctly is again a big thing when it comes to scoring really high in your speaking. Lexical resource, students, is the list of good words. I mean the vocabulary, okay? Instead of repeating certain words, use different set of words, fine. Then again, grammatical range and accuracy is something that really takes you to, you can say, stars in your speaking part, because usage of different grammatical structures, sentence structures, and using the tenses appropriately, correctly, and just using the adjectives and all those kind of, you can say, parts of speech would really help you to have a band score of 8, 8.5. It could also take you to 9 band score. Then again, you need to be really fluency when it comes to your speaking part, students. Why you need to be really fluent? Fluency is really important when it comes to your speaking part. If you get stuck, while you just explain something, it seems like you're not having a lot of ideas. You're not getting a lot of ideas to explain your point. Okay? So, don't go too fast with the explanation. That's why I tell all my students to just start, at a comfortable speed, so that you could just maintain the same speed till the end of your interview. Otherwise, if you are just starting too fast, you would just stop in between. You need to have time to think, and it would just affect your band score. Okay? Coherence mean, framing the story that would really make out some logical sense, that would really make out something good, okay, that would help you again to take you to a band score of 8.5 in your speaking part. So that's all about today's live, students. And all those who are attending my live today, heartiest thanks to you all for being so attentive in my live. I would just come with another round of, you can say, live session with something more interesting than this. Till then, thank you. Stay tuned. Keep watching our lives. Okay. And please don't hesitate to contact us. I have just shared, all the details on this particular slide. You can take the screenshot if you want. Otherwise, you can even register yourselves at our, e-learning website where you could even just enjoy the freemium packages. Students, I would like to just pen down saying that 7 days of a free trial is available for the students, who want to appear for their general training IELTS test, for their academic IELTS test and all. So you can even do the spoken English course at our e-learning platform. Okay, then again, you can even just visit our branches, okay, personally, to get any sort of details. Do follow us on different platforms, students, and please subscribe our YouTube channel even. Thank you once again. Gurdajit Kaur this side. Good day. Good luck.